This is Iceland. In the eyes of the world, the land of peace and the northern lights. But beneath that calm surface lie dark secrets, shocking scandals, and mind-bending truths. 1. Sex before coffee, the most raw truth about relationships in Iceland. Iceland's dating culture is different from most places in the world and quite direct. The phrase sex before coffee is no joke here. It describes a real social habit. The logic is simple: physical intimacy first, then getting to know each other. Nightlife in Reykjavik, in particular, is built on this understanding. In a 2022 study by the University of Reykjavik, 57% of 1,500 adults said sexual contact on a first date was normal. This is also related to the social dynamics created by the small population. Approximately 380,000 people live in the country, and everyone knows each other in some way. Therefore, romantic relationships can develop quickly. Furthermore, sexuality is far from taboo in Iceland. Sex education is mandatory in the education system, and birth control methods are free or low cost. Consequently, sex first is accepted as a social norm here, rather than coffee first.
2. Prostitution Human Trafficking, the shadow surveillance of the Big Brother.
Although prostitution is illegal in Iceland, it continues secretly, especially in the capital Reykjavik and tourist areas. According to 2023 police reports, 64 women were identified as victims of human trafficking. Most of them came from Eastern European and South American countries. Many enter the country legally, but are later forced into sex work through debt bondage or threats. Although the state conducts operations in this regard, insufficient resources and the flexible methods of criminal networks make the fight difficult.
This is where the volonté group store assistir, or Big Brother, comes in.
Group members secretly follow customers, photograph them, and expose them on social media. However, this method raises questions regarding privacy and legal boundaries. Nevertheless, beneath the seemingly quiet streets, this dark web of organized crime persists. 3. Swimming even in cold weather, Iceland's endless passion for water. In Iceland, swimming is not just a summer activity. Cold weather, even snowfall, does not stop this habit. The swimming culture in the country is so deeply rooted that approximately 90% of the population is proficient swimmers, and this skill is taught as a compulsory subject in elementary school. In an event held in January 2024, hundreds of people were seen continuing to swim in outdoor pools at an air temperature of -3 degrees Celsius. Most of these pools are heated with geothermal energy, keeping the water temperature at an average of 28 degrees Celsius. However, the sharp cold that hits your face when you get out of the pool makes the experience unforgettable. Facilities such as Laugardalslag in Reykjavik and Sundlaug in Akureyri are full all day long, even in winter. The public believes this tradition is indispensable for both physical and mental health. 4. Hidden xenophobia, the invisible racism of the North. Iceland is known as a country that ranks high in global rankings for its high quality of life, egalitarian social structure, and safe cities. However, the 2024 Iceland Human Rights Report revealed a different reality beneath this bright picture. According to the report, 38% of immigrants in the country stated that they faced overt or covert discrimination in the hiring process. People of Middle Eastern, African, and Eastern European origin, in particular, experience difficulties in areas such as renting housing, accessing social services, and finding work. Although the public image of Iceland as a tolerant country persists, prejudices against foreigners are felt in everyday life. While some immigrants view the local population's cold and distant attitude as a cultural difference, most say it translates into systematic exclusion. 5. A woman's paradise? The real cost of being a woman in Iceland. Iceland ranked first in the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Index for the 15th consecutive year in 2024. Women in the country have strong representation in every field, from politics to business. 47% of the parliament is made up of women. However, this picture does not mean that everything is perfect. A national survey conducted the same year revealed that 67% of women had experienced unwanted sexual encounters at least once in their lives, and 15.9% had experienced symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder as a result. This contradiction is called the Nordic paradox. Even in countries known for high levels of gender equality, violence and harassment against women can be serious. Although women in Iceland are legally powerful, gender-based problems with deep roots in the social culture still persist. 6. Education Minister Scandal, Resignation after 30 years of secrets. In February 2025, Icelandic politics was rocked by a shocking event. Education and Children's Affairs Minister Ásthildur Lóa confessed to the public that she had a relationship with a 15-year-old boy when she was 23 and had a child from that relationship. The incident had been kept secret for about 30 years. According to Icelandic law at the time, such a relationship was considered sexual abuse and carried a prison sentence of up to 3 years. Although the minister explained her resignation as a matter of personal responsibility, it sparked a major debate in society. While some argued that the incident was in the past, the majority emphasized that the law should be applied equally to everyone. Police launched an investigation after the confession, but the statute of limitations may limit legal proceedings. 7. Babies sleeping under the snow, a cold weather health ritual. In Iceland, putting babies to sleep outdoors even in winter is a tradition that has been going on for over a century. This practice is common in both urban and rural areas. According to a February 2023 study by the University of Reykjavik, 78% of parents put their babies to sleep outside at least a few times a week. This practice usually begins when the baby is 4 weeks old and weighs about 4 kilograms. Even when the temperature drops to -5 degrees Celsius, babies are placed in the garden, on balconies, or in front of the house, protected by special suits, woolen blankets, and wind-proof crib covers. Parents believe this strengthens the immune system, promotes deeper sleep, and improves respiratory function. 8. Northern Lights, Iceland's dance in the sky. The Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, are one of Iceland's most captivating natural spectacles. This visual feast occurs when charged particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field. The best time to see the Northern Lights in Iceland is generally during the dark and cold months from mid-September to mid-April. According to data from the Icelandic Meteorological Office, 127 nights of Northern Lights were observed across the country during this period in 2024. It is popular to observe them in areas away from the city lights of Reykjavik, in Thingvellir National Park, on the shores of Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, or around Akureyri in the north. 9. 80 years of a dog-free capital, Reykjavik's silent ban. A decision enacted in Reykjavik in 1924 banned dog ownership in the city for nearly a century. The reason for this ban was to prevent the spread of echinococcus, hydatid cyst, a parasite that posed a serious health threat at the time. The parasite could infect humans from dogs, causing cysts to form in the liver and other organs. The ban was only relaxed in exceptional cases, such as for guide dogs. During this period, Reykjavik became one of the few capitals in the world where domestic dogs were prohibited. The law was completely repealed in 2006, but strict rules still apply. 10. One of Europe's largest raids, Europol operation in Iceland. In May 2025, Icelandic police participated in a massive operation coordinated by Europol and involving 10 different countries. The operation's goal was to dismantle organized crime networks operating across Europe. 7 people were arrested in raids in Iceland, and hundreds of vehicles and warehouses were searched. A total of 60 people were arrested across all countries, and more than 15,000 vehicles were inspected. During the operation, millions of kroner in cash, illegal weapons, and large quantities of contraband were seized. Iceland's participation in this operation demonstrated that, despite its small size, the country is an important point on the logistical routes of international crime networks. Authorities note that drug and money laundering routes in particular pass through Iceland. 11. From the Hells Angels to the Bandidos, motorcycle gangs Icelandic outing. Although Iceland is a geographically isolated island country, in recent years it has begun to attract the attention of international motorcycle gangs. According to a 2024 police report, there are at least 6 foreign-based gangs actively operating in the country. The most well-known among them are the Hells Angels and the Bandidos. The gangs use Iceland as a strategic base for drug trafficking, money laundering, and illegal arms transfers. Small businesses and cash-intensive sectors are particularly targeted for money laundering activities. In 2023, 2 gang members were injured in an armed clash at a nightclub in Reykjavik, raising security concerns across the country. Police are conducting operations to prevent these organizations from gaining a foothold by collaborating with local groups. 12. Alcohol monopoly, state-controlled intoxication. In Iceland, alcohol sales have been restricted to state-controlled stores called Venbin since 1995. These stores have only 51 branches nationwide and limited operating hours. The sale of high-alcohol beverages, including beer, is prohibited in markets, gas stations, or anywhere outside restaurants. Even the beer-like beverages sold in supermarkets are usually light malt drinks with an alcohol content below 2.25%. The purpose of this strict control is to limit alcohol consumption and reduce alcohol-related health problems. In 2024, a total of 25 million liters of alcoholic beverages were sold in Venben stores. Prices are high compared to the European average because the state has both tax and pricing power.
13. Elliðaey Island, the deserted Icelanders legends.
Elliðaey Island is located in one of the most isolated points of the Vestmannaeyjar archipelago and has only one house on it. This house was built in the 1950s by a group of members of the island's hunting club as temporary accommodation for puffin hunting. There is no electricity, water, or internet connection on the island. Access is only possible by boat or helicopter. After the house was abandoned over the years, it became the subject of various rumors among locals and tourists. Some claimed that the house was gifted to the famous singer Björk, while others imagined it as a secret retreat for a billionaire. In reality, the property still belongs to the hunting club and is occasionally used by members for maintenance. This deserted island continues to be one of Iceland's most talked about landscapes, thanks to both its natural beauty and the mysterious atmosphere created by a solitary house. 14. A Thousand-Year Bloodline, Iceland's only horse breed. The Icelandic horse is known as one of the country's most valuable and protected animal species. Its history dates back to the 9th century, when the first Viking settlers brought horses from Norway and the British Isles. A law passed in 982 completely banned the entry of foreign horses into the country, and their purity has been preserved ever since. When an Icelandic horse is sent to another country, it is not allowed to return. This strict rule aims to preserve the breed's genetic purity and resilience. Despite its small size, the Icelandic horse is extremely powerful, resistant to cold climates, and possesses 5 distinct gaits, including the tolt and flying pace. According to 2024 data, there are approximately 80,000 Icelandic horses in the country, which is equivalent to almost 1/5 of the human population. This special breed is seen not only as a means of transportation or for sports, but also as a symbol of Icelandic culture and national identity. 15. The summer when the sun never sets, midnight sun in Iceland. Iceland experiences a unique natural phenomenon during the summer months, particularly in mid-June, the midnight sun. Although the country is not entirely within the Arctic Circle, its geographical location causes daylight hours to become extremely long during this period. In Reykjavik around June 21st, although the sun does not remain above the horizon for approximately 24 hours, twilight begins immediately after sunset, and the sky never becomes completely dark. This effect is more pronounced in the northern regions of the country. In cities like Akureyri, it is possible to engage in outdoor sports even at midnight. This natural phenomenon supports the local people's habits of fishing late into the night, camping, or attending outdoor festivals throughout the summer. 16. Grindavík, the city where volcano and crime intersect. Grindavík was a small town on the Reykjanes Peninsula that thrived on both fishing and tourism. However, intense seismic activity and volcanic eruptions in the Sandvíkur region starting in 2023 changed the town's fate. Hundreds of homes were evacuated due to cracks forming and lava flows beginning in November 2023. The January 2024 eruption severely damaged the town's infrastructure. Roads were covered in lava, and electricity and water lines were cut. During the evacuation, it was alleged that some organized crime groups used the vacant homes and warehouses for temporary shelter and illegal storage of goods. Police monitored the area using security cameras and drones to verify these claims.